Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody at the WorldTex Hybrid and KL Travel Mart 2022. I am Patrick Richards, Director of LVG Learning and Networking, your hosts for today's webinar, along with our friends at the Nordic Tourism Collective. We're delighted to be joining you this afternoon in KL. It's morning where I am here in London, and just a little later for our friends in the Nordics. So today we are here to talk about one of Europe's most exciting, magnificent, and let's face it, achingly beautiful tourism regions, the Nordics, in a webinar entitled Selling Experiences, Not Destinations, Opportunities and Lessons from Promoting the Nordics. So the great writer Jorge Luis Borges once wrote, "The things of Scandinavia are secret, as if a dream." Well, dream, certainly, but a secret? I'm not so sure. Over the last decade, according to Oxford Economics, tourism from Asia to the Nordics grew by 400% in the decade through 2007. Through to 2017. And post-pandemic, your tourists are showing a strong appetite to once again revel in its natural beauty. So if the Nordics is something of a secret for you, then you want to learn more, then you've come to the right place. We'll be focusing on the region, how the region is presenting itself, and here with a great panel of experts in addressing the topic. We'll also talk about how you, as a tourism professional, and the things you need to know in order to present this beautiful region successfully. Our panel covers industry leaders from pivotal parts of the ecosystem, including a major NTO represented by Tarja Koivisto, account manager and global sales promotion at Visit Finland. One of the most successful destination management companies in the region, Via Hansa and Borealis, represented by Marcella Infantino, its founder and CEO, and Mickey Travel, who are an authentic institution in this part of the world, having provided B2B travel services for groups, FITs and MICE to the Asian customer for almost as long as I've been alive, which, believe me, is a very long time. They are represented by Olivier Merschler, who is their Chief Executive Officer. Firstly, for some housekeeping, the session will last an hour. Our audience are all muted. Panelists, if you can mute when you're not speaking, that will be great. Audience, please, if you have any questions, put them in the chat in Facebook. We will see them and we will endeavor to deal with them as we go through the conversation and keep you all involved. And finally, this session will be recorded for later circulation. So before I go on, just a little bit about our host companies today. LVG Learning and Networking is an innovative e-learning and networking platform. According to McKinsey & Company, up to 40% of workers may need to move to new occupations by 2030, and tourism is one of the industries most impacted. LVG is on a mission to untap the potential of our sector in the face of this resourcing crisis. We combine the latest work in educational technology with over 100 years of experience in the tourism sector to deliver an unrivaled learner experience. Courses offered include destination education and promotion, vital soft skills and business skills courses like digital marketing and successful remote working, plus further courses to pinpoint the areas of skills development in tourism. All this is focused upon upskilling, reskilling, and networking the tourism professional to do smart, effective business in the 21st century digital age. In Malaysia, we are privileged to count Sarawak Tourism as one of our clients. And now it's high time for me to introduce my co-host, Paul Wagner, who is the director of the Nordic Tourism Association. Paul is going to tell you a little bit about his organization. So, Paul, please tell us a little bit about why you set up the Nordic Tourism Collective, your activities, and how you go about presenting the Nordics region as a whole.
Thank you very much, Patrick, and delighted to be here today and to tell you a little bit and join you in everything that is a little bit Nordic today. First of all, I'd like to say that it's an absolute pleasure to partner with our partners and colleagues at LVG Learning, and we are all in this panel very passionate about our region. And as I talk now, you're going to start to see some little photos, little glimpses, little tastes of the Nordic region. Here we go. Nordic Tourism Collective is an association representing suppliers in the Nordic region and also buyers that have programs to the Nordic region. Everybody within the association is very passionate about the region, and we feel it's a very important and special region for global tourism, and we'll touch on them during the discussions today. Most of our Asian markets do multi-destination programs within the Nordics, and we provide a platform for pan-Nordic information, pan-Nordic events, and most importantly, a pan-Nordic community. The region that we cover starts in the west, in Greenland, as far west as Greenland, and we cover the whole Nordic region, including Iceland, Faroes, into Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland. But we also include the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. So it's quite an extensive region that the Nordics, so to speak, is covering, and such an interesting and diverse area. We also are delighted to have some very special panelists with us here today who are absolute experts in promoting this region. And I hope that during the course of the next few minutes, you'll have a little think and say that this is a very, very exciting and special destination in terms of the nature, in terms of the cities, in terms of the space, in terms of the very nature of what the Nordic stands for. Now I will just want to say that we are very delighted to be here with you today. I'll be co-hosting with Patrick from LVG Learning and asking our esteemed and prestigious panelists a few questions, which will also give you an idea of how things are at the moment. So thank you very much, Patrick, and over to you.
Great, thank you, Paul. To our panelists, please a minute to introduce a little bit about your company. I'm going to start at the top of the screen. Marcella, with you, please. Could you just go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you very much to Paul and Patrick for the invitation. I am delighted to be here with you today. It is an honor, and I will try to do my best to share the best of our destinations. My name is Marcella Infantino, and I founded Via Hansa and Borealis many years ago. Today we are a local DMC located in the whole area. We are serving a total of 12 destinations, and we consider ourselves very passionate and experts on destination, being very local, and we also have an office in the Arctic Circle in Lapland, Finland. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Marcella. And Tarja, over to you.
Thank you, Patrick. Sorry. Yes, my name is Tarja Koivisto, and as Patrick introduced me, I'm from Visit Finland. Visit Finland is part of Business Finland. We are government funded, and we work under the Finnish Ministry on Employment and Economy. I work in the global sales promotion team, which means that I work mainly with travel trade, B2B. It's so nice to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. And anything you have questions about Finland, just let me know. Thank you.
We are looking forward to firing a few questions at you, Tarja. It will be very interesting.
Lovely.
And certainly not last but not least, Olivier, please introduce yourself.
So good afternoon, and I'm on the other side of the world. I'm based in Hong Kong. My name is Olivier Möschler. I'm the CEO of Mickey Asia. Mickey Travel has a very long history in Asia, over 50 years, and we cover basically all the country from China down to India. We have 12 offices who cover all this country, and we are one of the largest outbound operator to Europe, and especially to the Nordic countries. We cover all the segment, but I have to say we are highly specialist in groups. And now with the change of behavior of the consumer, we also very much looking after family tours. And I'm very pleased to participate in your sessions and very looking forward to contribute.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Olivier. Thank you to all of our panelists for participating today. And I'm going to hand back to Paul to start the questioning.
Thank you, Patrick. And I'm delighted to ask the first question to Tarja at Visit Finland. And Finland's air connectivity in Helsinki as the hub is very often the gateway to the Nordics from Asia. But of course, post-pandemic and post-Ukraine, where do the Asian markets fit into your strategy? And how are your promotional activities changing with these new realities?
Well, as you all know, that's true. Finnair, pre-pandemic, they were the largest European company with a connectivity to Asia from Finland. But honestly, our strategy hasn't changed at all in that region. We work very closely with Finnair, of course, but it doesn't mean that we are married to them. We work with the other airlines as well. And part of the Visit Finland's strategy is we have kind of like these three factors. We need to now increase the demand from the international market so that our travel trade in Finland, they would enjoy the economic growth, which is extremely important for them at the moment. And then, of course, the other two factors are sustainability. We are developing sustainable travel. And then, of course, the competitiveness. We want to be, actually, our target is by 2025 to be the most desirable travel destination in the Nordics. The strategy, we don't really have a set strategy in Southeast Asian markets. We have 13 international target markets where at least one Visit Finland employee is based and working. But in Southeast Asia, we really don't have any representative, but I would be the contact here in our head office for that region. Like I said, even if that area is not really written in our strategy, but since now the economic growth for our travel industry is so important, so we need to be agile, what we are also in Visit Finland. So we have been working with the travel trade in that area previously and will continue. We have a lot of means what we can use, even if we don't have a big budget.
Tarja, can I just ask you, obviously Finland is not only just a summer destination, it's also a very important winter destination. So I guess your activities will always involve promoting Finland year round. Is this very much continuing now to also give a good focus on Aurora and winter Lapland products as well?
Well, of course, the sustainability means that the destination needs to be year-round destination. When the pandemic started, we kind of thought that, okay, now we need to strengthen our strengths. And yes, everybody knows that winter is really the strong time of the year, especially in the Asian markets when people want to come. But no, we want to promote Finland as a year-round destination. And there is a lot of things you you can do also what we call snowless season. One of the main attractions in the Asian market is Northern Lights, and not a lot of people know that you really can view the Northern Lights starting from August. So you don't need this coldness and a lot of snow, but you can also view them starting from end of August, and that's a really exciting season if you are afraid of minus 30 Celsius. So that would be a great time of the year to visit Finland.
Makes a lot of sense, and I think some of the Asian markets pre-pandemic were discovering this sort of early Northern Lights, autumn Northern Lights. Super, thank you, Patrick.
Those pictures of the Northern Lights were really enticing, but you shouldn't be afraid of the cold, Tarja. You know, that's one of my maxims. Just looking at the other side of the coin, Olivier, you know, you're based in the Asian region, so you really live and breathe the market on market. How do you see the expectations of the ASEAN traveler changing post-pandemic? You know, are travelers looking for niche experiences? Do they still want the greatest hits? How's Mickey looking at this situation?
Yes, when Mickey, we are, as I explained before, one of the largest outbound operators. So obviously we are into the mass market, and Asia are already a huge market to the Nordics and Scandinavia. So the travelers from Asia have been going to the destination already for many, many years. Now, the segmentation is very important. So Asia, if we look at the first-time travelers, which is still represent the fastest growing segment, because people can afford the first trip to Europe, is growing really rapidly, and they will seek the capital. So they want to go see the big cities and probably an extension to the fjords, but they are not very adventurous. They just want to go for the first time to the highlights they have seen. But because people can afford more and more trips, we see a huge demand for returning clients to the region. And there we start to see a different program. So Iceland has been doing extremely well before COVID. And now, even though there are quite a lot of, let's say, difficulties to reserve the product, which I think will impact Iceland. But what we have seen just before COVID, and we have seen as well a huge interest from the clients to be experienced about the destination, is Lapland. So Lapland for us, and the entire snow experience is very, very important. Of course, we also offer the Northern Light, but because the Asians have very short trips, so if they only go for 2 days, and unfortunately they might not see the Northern Light, we have to include other experiences, and that's why we make a combination of snow experiences and Northern Light, and hopefully within the short period they can have a great experience from all of those. Again, more and more the clients will start to research Instagram pictures. I think that's very important to create a new product. So I think people will continue to return to the region, and it's up to us as a destination specialist to be creative with new product ideas.
And do you see the MICE market beginning to move at all, Olivier? Is this started up again, or is it really the leisure traffic that started first?
The issue we have in this part of the world is the lack of air seats, and the air seats are very, very expensive. So it is unfortunately for 2022 too difficult to organize MICE group. They just don't have the air capacity, and the airfare are still very, very high. So instead, they are looking for more regional tours, because it's easier as well now to travel within Asia. We don't have any restrictions except Hong Kong, of course, and China. But for the rest of Southeast Asia, there is no restrictions, and it's easier for them to travel. So MICE 2022 is mostly intra-Asia, but we start now to have already some demand for 2023. And I am sure when the air capacity is going to ramp up, we will see a bigger demand for the destination.
Well, it's great. It's great to see all of the inter-regional restrictions coming down. Thanks, Olivier. Paul, over to you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Marcella, I wanted to ask you, Via Hansa are purely focused, very much focused on the Nordic and Baltic region with a very substantial network in there. And so being on the ground, you're ideally placed to present the destination in a very contemporary way. How are you attracting the Southeast Asian customers to the region? And how do you kind of personalize the products to ensure the customer is getting the right and best experience?
Thank you, Paul. Well, being very, very local and being here and having followed the development that the destination has done throughout the pandemic, I think that we have become more aware of all the hidden gems, and we see a tendency to in ourselves where we are trying to support our partners in Asia to be more courageous in terms of showing them new possibilities. The capacity is being more restricted. So I think it is important to address the huge possibilities that the Nordic destinations are giving in terms of full year seasonality. So we can accommodate much more wishes. And this is based on the local knowledge that we have, that some travelers could be afraid of, I don't know, maybe traveling to Lapland in October. But this is indeed one of the most amazing times in the Nordic countries, because you have the possibility of combining something like the Ruska time with the snow and the Northern Lights. So being local gives us the possibility to support the travelers in a different way, a more extended way, and to encourage them not to be afraid in trying to explore other parts of the Nordic countries, other type of products, and indeed other seasons. And I think that for us, we have as a company a huge focus on the sustainability, the responsibility towards our destinations, toward our nature, and our community, our local communities. And we would like to support the Asian traveler to hop on that train and also to be a part of this universal movement about, trying to do whatever we can to support our planet. So we are seeing ourselves encouraging our travelers, not only from Asia, but from all over the world, in trying to become more local travelers. That, for instance, when they are here, if we address some of the Asian groups, that it is very important to include Asian meals. And for 3, 4, 5 years ago, maybe all the meals will be Asian. We are trying to support them to really have a Nordic experience, and to say, instead of including 15 Asian meals, why don't we include only 30%, and rest you go local? And this is a way to really enhance the experience. We see like the culinary part of a trip, it's very, very important. And being local, again, we push our partners to really encourage them and say, go Nordic, and really, get the full experience of the capacity that these destinations have to offer. So this is what we are doing, trying to attract the Asian travelers by offering a much more organic, handcrafted product with local experiences.
No, that's very clear. Thank you, Marcella. That's great. I wanted to ask you one other question actually regarding that, because I fully understand this local experience is what makes the Nordics so magical. Do you think, though, that maybe the traditional Asian tours of going to multi-countries, multi-destinations, going to the fjords and the major cities, do you think they will change? Do you think you'll be starting to encourage slower tourism where they maybe stay longer in certain areas, certain regions, certain destinations, maybe slightly less flying and more really getting close and comfortable with that local community?
Indeed, and this is also one of our big concerns in relation, not only in relation to the protection of the destinations, but indeed also for the enhancement of the traveler experience. When you go off the beaten track, off the beaten path, you find a lot of hidden gems, and there is no need to be flying back and forth from from south to the north, trying to to explore as many experiences as possible, and we can do that, but locally. We don't need to fly, to have 3, 4, 5 domestic flights within the Nordic destinations to really enhance the experience. So yes, we are indeed seeing ourselves focus much more on the immersive travel, transforming tourism, where you really get the opportunity to immerse yourself in the local community, in the local experiences, and really carry them home, but not just a nice picture, from one of all these wonderful places, but as a souvenir that you carry inside of you because you had the experience and you didn't just took a picture. So yeah, we are encouraging our guests, our visitors, our travelers to go slow travel as much as possible.
Beautifully put. Thank you very much, Marcella. Patrick, to you.
Thank you, Marcella. Tarja, back to you. We've said that we really want to speak to the travel professionals who are in our audience here in KL and beyond. Olivier's already referenced the fact that there might not be enough air capacity to take large mice groups. So we know that things have changed since the pandemic. There's been a loss of experience and competency. Talking to the travel professionals here, how are we going to deliver those unique experiences, both in marketing and in operations, to the market? How are you adapting as far as Visit Finland as a destination to this new reality that we have?
Well, first of all, Finland is not a mass market, so that is a fact. We are a niche market, and our target groups, mainly, if I just put it briefly in one target group, is a mindfulness traveler. That is true. The fact is that the air capacity, especially now, where we had a lot of traffic coming from Japan, China, of course. Now China, nobody can fly from there, and also Japan. The air capacity, most of the capacity of Finnair goes for cargo, so there is not so many passenger seats available, even if the flights are flying. But I'm not so worried now. It will take time before Asian market comes to Finland, and we are ready for that. We are honestly an ideal post-pandemic destination. We have the room to roam, clean air, pure water, and I hope that the air capacity will increase shortly. It affects the big groups, but I don't think it affects now the FIT travelers, and especially the ones who are traveling to Finland, because this is the destination for people who've been already visiting the big destinations, Paris, London, these type of the things. This is their 5th or 6th time to go abroad when they come to Finland. So And what we've been doing during the pandemic, of course, we've been very active in the market. We have done a lot of online sales events, webinars for the travel agents, and these type of the things. So you need to keep Finland in people's mind, even if they can't travel from Asia to Finland. But now we see that the travel is open. We have now getting more and more people also from Asia coming to Finland already now.
So you're feeling optimistic, Tarja?
I'm feeling very optimistic. Finland is
Excellent.
a great destination.
Good. Paul, back to you.
Sure. Got a question for Olivier, actually. Olivier, you've obviously seen a huge change in the travel landscape in Asia over the last couple of years. And how do you and Mickey use your strong footprint in the region to support the travel trade and upskill the agents and support the latest product offerings in the Nordics due to the fact that many of the operators and customers have lost their knowledge and expertise that maybe they used to have pre-COVID?
Sure, Paul. Just before that, I just wanted to add maybe a comment that from the destination, one of the constraints we have to sell the destination is sometimes the lack of flexibility and the condition from the suppliers. So Asian require a lot of flexibility. So we need to pre-book the room well in advance. The cancellation fees are not very flexible. Marcella, you were talking about the local restaurant. Yes, fully agrees of what you had said, but unfortunately, if there is a change on itinerary and we cannot reach the restaurant, they will then charge us full cancellation fees, while the Chinese restaurant down the street will not charge us anything. So I have to say that from the supplier point of view, we would appreciate a bit more flexibility to support, let's say, the behavior of the Asian clients. Now, Paul, to answer your question, I think we let's say the whole industry has obviously lost a lot of employees. So all the hard work we have done before COVID, unfortunately, has disappeared. I mean, many agencies have closed down. Many employees have changed industries. So clearly, we have lost a huge amount of experience. What we have done in Mickey is that we have kept contact with all our clients. We offered, of course, a lot of webinars. We have also tried to bring the suppliers and the agent together. We offer business matching solutions. We did a lot of product updates. So I think we have maybe a lot less of experienced employees or clients, but the few remaining, I think, are of a higher quality. I think we have been able to select a really a good amount of true specialists. And then we will have to see, again, as the market segmentation is very, very important here, again, for the mass market, which is still the key segment of Mickey, the know-how we currently have is reasonable. But again, for the returnees, for the niche market, for the family, for the FITs, whoever wants to have a snow experience, want to go to an icebreaker, there's still, of course, a lot more that we need to do to support the industry. And then as the industry will recover, it will again bring a huge amount of newcomer within the industry. So there again, I think a lot of work from all of us to restart huge education programs, farm tours, to bring all these people up to speed on the destination. So still, I think a lot more for the industry to develop the Nordic destination or all other European destinations.
Thank you, Olivia. That's a very good point about we need this mass e-learning education process to start and to continue. But I was actually you mentioned the fam trips, and I was very interested to hear on that one, because is there an appetite in Asia generally to get back to the traditional fan trips where you taste, you feel, you experience, and you enjoy the actual destination itself? Or is there still a little bit people thinking, oh, I don't think we're going to have time to go to the destination, we're too busy with quotations? Is there an appetite to come back to the traditional fam trips?
Absolutely, but the appetite has slightly changed, because you are right. Before COVID was all about the proper experience. Post-COVID is about having that beautiful picture. So everyone wants to go and have that beautiful picture behind Marcella with the Northern Light and be able to post it on the Instagram or Facebook. So I think the experience to be at the destination will never change. And thank God. I think otherwise people will never travel and will only purchase webinars. So I think that is going to continue, even the better, because again, they want to have that special experience or that special picture. So I think that's all very good for us from the industry.
Delighted to hear that, and relieved to hear that as well, because I fully agree with you. It's a must for to get things back in a strong way as it used to be. Patrick, back to you.
So it's really interesting, this theme that's coming out of the difference in dealing with the first-time traveller from Asia and the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time traveller, and maybe the more experiential services that they're looking for and how we deal with them. And that seems to be a theme that's coming out from everybody. The other theme that's coming out, of course, is some of the operational difficulties post-pandemic. And there was a question that we had from Facebook to Olivier about how he was dealing with them. And I think, Olivier, you've already really answered that question very, very well. I'm going to put a similar question to Marcella, sitting on the other side of the world in the Nordics. So really, Marcella, you're on the ground seeing some of the issues with restaurants and hotels, some of the things that Olivier referred to. How are you dealing with these constraints and this new reality as far as Via Hansa and Borealis is concerned?
Well, it is not a secret anymore. I think that we are all suffering from the lack of qualified manpower in the industry worldwide, but it is especially, I think, very, very difficult in the Nordic countries. We see difficulties in all the supplier chain, from hotels, transportation companies, local guides that are not there anymore, and of course that everyone in the industry has been forced and obliged to find another source of living. The ones who remained in the industry, I guess we are the crazy ones, and the ones that cannot live without the tourist industry. And there is a huge responsibility that is laying on our shoulders, because we have now to share the knowledge and the experience we have. But that will take some time. It's not done in over a long weekend. So what we are seeing now is that there is a natural selection, you can say, a natural selection of which requests you can attend. And this is something that is going on throughout the supplier chain, because at the end of the day, you need to enhance. We were talking about how important I think Tadia was mentioning how important it is for the industry to get back on its feet and create revenue, but because of the very limited manpower in the industry, what we see is that everyone is attending that traveler that is mindful, that will spend more days in the destination, that is going into a full package, that is looking for a local experience, and not so much the mass tourism, the mainstream. At this moment, there is a lack of capacity to address that segment. And there is we can feel that there is a very common understanding, unspoken understanding about servicing and supporting the tailor-made, the FIT traveler, the families, the small groups. And I also think that it goes pretty much hand in hand with the future vision and plans that we, the locals in the Nordic countries, we have for our destinations in relation to the protection and the sustainability. So in a way, it is very, very tough for me to say, but we can see how a lot of different requests needs to be declined due to the lack of capacity to serve and to deliver. Because the worst that can happen is that you commit to a contract and to the delivery, and then this is not done. So we have like a common understanding in the destination that it is better to say, we are very sorry, we cannot help you this time, but we welcome you back in another moment. So this is the best thing we can do to enhance the experiences of our travelers, is that we commit according to the capacity we have to deliver and not beyond our capacity of delivery.
Thank you, Marcella. Look, I think there's a clear message that you have of quality over quantity there for your markets. And then you mentioned sustainability too, and I think that leads into another question, Paul, that you have for Tarja.
Absolutely, Tarja. Much of the Finnish project is built around being back to nature, and sustainability becomes a core part of the offering. And this is even pre-pandemic, of course, as well. But it seems now that obviously other destinations in Europe and around the world are getting in on the act as well. So how does Finland differentiate itself? How do you keep ahead of the others, in so to speak, to ensure that sustainability is authentic in Finland and it's not just greenwashing, it's the genuine article?
I agree with you, Paul, in that one, that it's now kind of like this trendy word, sustainability, and you just stamp the word to everything, and yeah, we are sustainable, and there's nothing behind it. But when it comes to Finland, I think that sustainability comes within. We've been very sustainable already as a nation. I mean, it doesn't mean that everybody's sorting their garbage, or we are just everybody bicycling and not driving cars or having electric cars. No, but it's been kind of like in the backbone of Finns all the time. As you know that this is now the 5th year in a row Finland has been nominated the happiest nation in the world. And what it really kind of like, we Finns, we largely attribute our happiness to the connection of the nature. We really need the nature, and the nature is so close to us. I live in the city of Helsinki, in downtown Helsinki, and this background photo is just like 30 meters from my apartment. So we have like water all over the place, and the forest, and everybody just needs to get into the forest. So that's why it's already we grew up with this, that we need to preserve the nature because we want it to be there for our children as well. What Visit Finland is doing, and what we are doing as a nation, already Finland's national policies steers us towards inclusive and competent Finland, and the government's target is that we are a carbon neutral country by 2035. Yes, 2035, and then of course that applies to tourism as well. And Visit Finland has launched a national Sustainable Travel Finland program, which means that within Visit Finland, we have several teams. So like I mentioned, I work in the global sales promotion team, but then we have a team called business development, and business development team is helping Finnish travel trade towards the internationalization. And they have also launched and created this Sustainable Travel Finland program, and they help Finnish travel industry along that path. We have a website. I could talk hours about this subject, but we don't have time for that. But there's a really great website where you can find more information about that, what we are doing. And then also, I forgot, if I may add, for the previous question, when we talked about digital accessibility, we have actually launched a really great e-learning or destination kind of a marketing program called Finland Travel Pro. And I will send the link to everybody. So I encourage all of you to do the training. You will learn a lot about Finland, and that's totally done for you, travel trade. You learn a lot about Finland. You have then also material what you can forward to your customers. So I encourage you to do that. But back to the sustainability, yes, we are doing a lot. And like I said, Finns, I mean, it's already, like I said, our nature that we kind of, we don't talk big, we do. And if you understand what I mean, we are just not talking, we are doing.
Absolutely, it's in your DNA, and I think I've seen it personally myself, how incredibly serious the Finns are taking sustainability. And I think this also goes for all the Nordic countries as well. And I just wanted to ask Olivier actually on this point is, when it comes to the market, the Asian market, is this desire for sustainable packages, holidays, programs very much there in the demand? Are you hearing it more and more now, or are we still in the very sort of early days of customers saying, I want a sustainable holiday? Where are we sort of nowadays, Olivier?
Yes, unfortunately in Asia we're still in the very early days. Again, I think the entire mass market, it's really not in demand. It's all about price and shorter trips and price. Now, yes, for the sophisticated travelers or the families and the FITs, we do have, but unfortunately still very, very minimal.
No, that's what I thought. So I think you're just starting to feel it in the FIT market, but it's a way off for the escorted group programs for sure. So there's a bit of work there, but I'm kind of quite confident myself, talking to a lot of the people in the industry, that we have other issues. We're just coming out of a mass pandemic. There are so much other issues to solve, especially on the resources issue. Sooner and rather than later, it was suddenly becoming very quick up the agenda of priority. And certainly the youth and the younger people of today will be putting it as their top priority when they start traveling in the near future. Patrick, back to you.
Well, I think that's what some of the mass surveys show, even in Asian markets. And of course, also as Asian inbound markets like Singapore spend a lot of money on making their operations sustainable, that'll probably change some of the mentalities as well. So I think we've seen the trend emerging very, very quickly in Europe. Probably the same thing will happen in Asia, fairly soon. We're going to go quick fire, guys, because we're beginning to run out of time. I'm going to ask you two quick questions. One of which, just to give you time, is if you have one message for the audience to take away from today, what would it be? But first, we have a question from the floor, which is basically, very quickly, how would you, as a long-time leader in our industry, inspire young leaders who are coming up? 30-second answer. I'm going to start with you, Marcella. 30-second answer. How do you inspire young leaders coming into the industry today?
I will say that you need to know your product. You need to trust your knowledge and experience and share it with the customer. Don't be afraid of imposing in the gentle way. Imposing is a negative word, but if you are there, if they contact you, it's because they want something from you. Deliver according to knowledge and experience, and don't be afraid of doing that, because that will make you successful. Follow your heart and follow the reality of your context, your product, where you're living in the world, and share that with your customer.
I love that. Thank you, Marcella. Know your products. Now, on to you, Tarja. What do you think?
I actually fully agree with Marcella that you really need to be proud of your own professionalism. And it's so easy for the customers to find information in the website and all that. But you as a travel professional, you can give answers. You can kind of have a conversation with your customer. The internet can't. So be proud of what you know and study hard. And for Finland, contact Visit Finland and learn more.
Great. In fact, all the surveys show that, don't they, Tarja? That people who go via the travel trade, they spend more and they have higher satisfaction levels. So there's a real value the travel trade is bringing to the traveler. Love that. Have confidence in your answers. Absolutely. Olivier, on to you, please. What would be your advice to young leaders?
Well, too, I mean, emotion and inspiration. I mean, the travel industry is the greatest industry in the entire world because the emotion that we can have when we see a beautiful destination is just unbelievable. That's something that everyone should be able to experience. And once you experience such a beauty, I think it's very easy to inspire all the people to go and to see and to do the same thing. So emotion and inspiration in the greatest industry in the world.
Fantastic. And now we're going to go in reverse. So I'll start with you on this one. One thing from today that you'd like your audience or the audience here to remember from what we've said.
Well, the travel industry is very, very volatile. But again, I think we are also quite experienced to deal with such a volatility. And all the participants work very, very hard to overcome all the constraint and the difficulty we have. So we are able to come up with new ideas, new product, new training programs for everyone. So the time when we have downturn is never wasted. We learn very well from our experiences and we always overcome. And the travel industry will come out from that terrible crisis stronger, better, with even more beautiful product.
Experienced in dealing with crisis, absolutely, and we've always overcome in the past. Resilience is our middle name. I couldn't agree with you more, Olivier. Tarja, on to you. One message from today.
Yeah, we did receive actually a lot of new tools during the pandemic, all these digital tools, and everybody went to the digital way, which was good. But like Oliver said, that the human nature and people, we were born to travel. I mean, this is now just a good add-on. How we can reach. Now, if I'm talking about Visit Finland point of view, now we have all these online tools, and then we can reach the audience worldwide. But it doesn't mean that it would continue to be the only way to reach to the audience. Of course, it's a human way, and travel will continue, and we will support with the fam trips and all that. So yeah.
Great, thank you, Tarja. And Marcella, over to you. One point you'd like the audience to remember.
I would like you to remember that the pandemic has given us the time and the opportunity, the capacity, also to us, the local people, to discover new products, new possibilities in our destinations. So suddenly the Nordics have become bigger and larger because we can take you to different places that you have never heard of. And because we have had this possibility of stopping up and saying, okay, what are we going to do with this time? We have been educating ourselves. So we have a lot of new products and destinations to offer you.
Thank you so much, Marcella. Now, just concluding, if anybody wants to contact you via Hansa and Borealis, how do they do it?
They have to send me an email. You can find me in LinkedIn. My name is a little bit special, so it will be easy to find me on LinkedIn. Then you can ask me for friendship and I will be happy to accept you. And then we are in contact.
Fantastic. Thank you, Marcella. Tarja, how can the audience contact Visit Finland, Business Finland, if they want to know more?
You can actually access our website, visitfinland.com, and my contact information will be there. So it's a full information package, both of the destination and also of us working for Visit Finland.
Thank you, Tarja. Olivier, same question. Anyone who wants to be in contact with Mickey Travel?
Just Google it. I think we have various websites, but I have to remind that we are B2B, so our clients are the travel agent. But if any consumer interested, they can see our product and they can approach all the travel agents in Asia, which I'm sure will be very happy to provide our product.
Thank you, Olivier. And Paul, I would be remiss if I didn't include you in this, bringing together all of the Nordics and the Baltics as one destination. How can people find out more about the Nordic Tourism Collective?
Well, thank you, Patrick. The Nordic Tourism Collective is a very open organization. We're also we would love to have more buyers, more operators from Southeast Asia in our association. To join us is absolutely open and welcome to anybody. So anybody that's got products and programs to the Nordics or is intending to have in the future are more than welcome to join us, and look at our website at www.nordictourismcollective.com or contact me directly. And I hope that we've given over the last hour a good taste of what the Nordics is all about. You saw some photos earlier. Maybe we'll go out with a couple of photos in a minute, but it really is a very special destination, and you can hear what absolute experts we have in the panelists and on the ground in the Nordics. It's a very, very special destination.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you, Olivier. Thank you, Tarja. Thank you, Marcella. For anyone wanting to know a little bit more about LVG, www.lvglearning.com. We really are looking to help to address this resourcing crisis and the upskilling within the tourism business. So with that, thank you to everybody. Thank you to the team at the KL Travel Market WorldTex Hybrid, and we are closing. So thank you very much.